All right, where we last let off, we had everything tore apart. We had our engine bay painted. I was able to get some new fasteners for these bolts here. This one here looks like it backed out. I got to redo that one. But we got all new nuts, washers, and our camber plates are cleaned up. We got the K-frame cleaned up and painted, steering shaft, the control arms. We did the spindles. We installed polyurethane bushings into our control arms. Very fun to get out the old ones. Normally when I do these, I use a drill bit. I'll drill through the one side until I get it broke up good enough. And then I'll put a Sawzall reciprocating saw and like slice it or whatever. And then I use a wire brush to get it out the rest of the way. And these things, they just, you put a little bit of grease on them, tap them with a rubber mallet, they go right in. Installation is pretty easy, but we got everything painted up really nice. Everything's cleaned up pretty good. All right. I'm working on getting this side here installed. All right, so we're ready to go here. Now, a couple things you need to do is, I just wanted to do a side-by-side here. So here is our new strut next to our old strut. This is like a stock strut off of like a 03, 04. I think this came off of an 03 or an 04 Mustang GT. There's not many miles on it, but hey, it was made in 03. So that's that. So we got those. Let me see here. Show you the box. Even though I did go over all of this, there's a control arm bushing part number and box for the control arms. All right, I did get new polyurethane isolators here for the springs. These are the SVE springs, LRS springs, front SVE. They're HR springs is what they are. It looks like they are a little higher than the other springs that I had, and I'm not sure what brand these are. I don't know. I thought these were HRs. They're actually, I mean, if you look at the diameter of the steel, it looks like it's a little thicker, kind of, in comparison. I thought these were going to be the same. It's possible that they are. It's possible that they're just that compressed, because they've been in a car a long time. So, with that being said, I'm going to show you a little bit of what I did so far to get the stuff in. All I did was I sprayed a little bit of WD-40 and I used a rubber mallet, and I was able to work that on. Now, this upper pad fits really tight. So, where's it at? I had the fancy tool. Alright, so this is what I use, just a little angle grinder. If you take a look here, this is a really squared off edge, so it makes it a little tight going over. So all I did was I put like a 45-degree angle on this. Now I'll notch that the rest of the way around, and then I did put a little bit of WD-40 and I smacked this, excuse me, Dad, up onto the cup for the spring on the top of the K-member. So it'll look like this once it's installed. All right, see, so I have to modify that. I still need to use these spacers here on the strut when it gets installed. I have to clean these bolts up here yet. All right, we have our long bolts for our control arms and our nuts all cleaned up. I anti-seize everything. This is the grease you got to put in on the bushings. This is supplied in the box. If you've ever done any of these prothane bushings, they all come with this stuff. So basically, you just line that up and then you tap your bolts through. Very easy. like I said, the hardest part about this is going to be getting the spring in. I'm going to have to push the top part up in, then I'll get the lower started, and then I get a jack underneath and I'll jack it up some. Hopefully I can get it up far enough that it's not too much of a problem, but I'm going to get those bolts, the control arm nuts farther in on them bolts before I start lifting this up. That way I know that they're not going to go anywhere for sure. All right, so everything is in. Well, let's just say there was nothing fun or enjoyable about getting these springs installed. Getting the spring to compress and line up in the control arm, definitely not enjoyable. All right, but let's kind of take a quick look down here. The rack is in. We got our new rack bushings. Basically just grease them, tap them in. All of our control arms, man, they just went in nice and easy. I'm waiting to tighten these nuts up till I have everything on the suspension so that they can be seated correctly, okay? Just something that you do. Everything looks really good. I mean, everything's painted up nice. The silver springs look good. We got the yellow struts, the red calipers. Everything's just kind of pretty much popping down here. I'm looking to get new lines for this. So today I'm just kind of finish up some stuff right here, get some of these holes filled in. Might work on doing the brakes, getting this harness cleaned up right down in there underneath where that is. We got our hood latch is now installed, so everything is pretty much starting to come together. Still working on just, you know, cleaning up little simple parts. Whew. I did get everything together here. This is a lot of the stuff for the rear suspension. I already painted the pinion snubber. Here's my clutch pack kit, bushings for in the differential, the rear springs, and the rubber bushings, the isolator pads for that. So we still have our rear shocks here. Right now we're not going to be worrying about pulling out our rear suspension, as you know, some other things. I did get the mirror seated. I just really wanted to see what that looks like. I'm not sure right here where this seal comes down if that's something that needs to be trimmed. It's actually pushing out on the mirror here a little bit, so I'm gonna have to go and look at my other car to see how that works. Might try getting these wipes here installed so we can get these older moldings on, or these outer moldings on today. Like I said, just trying to get everything closed up, sealed up, so this thing can sit outside. I was trying to get a windshield. It seems like they're just a little hard to get right here in my location in the eastern US, at least the person I have that gets my stuff. So I cleaned this up. They are coming to seal this up because this windshield is not sealed down here across the bottom. So hopefully we'll have that taken care of this week. We still have a lot of stuff going on in here. If I get this stuff wet sanded out and buffed, which I think that's just going to take too much time, so this is going to go out. We're working on getting our fuel system installed, so you know, everything is on here. Check this out. Pop our little fuel out. We've got all this stuff in. All new fasteners. They give you these new rubbers. I cleaned up my original cleaned up my original one because it comes with the tabs to hold it in place here so it doesn't come off. I made sure I didn't paint none of this stuff in here. You know, maybe I can bend out a little bit, get it to fit in a little bit tighter. Would be nice if it did fit in tighter, but because it should be hitting them rubbers. So that's something that needs played with, you know, just like everything else. Whether it's something new or something old or something I'm using from something else, or it's, you know, like I said, anything off this car, you got to just keep going back and straightening everything out. We're going to get our bolts down in our steering shaft here and try to fill some of these other holes that you see here so that nothing can get through them. But definitely this thing is coming together. The last little bit of video I was going over the front suspension. I was kind of trying to skip through this stuff because I got some other things to do. Like I said, a lot of this stuff I'm just doing for my own documentation, and I'm sharing it with you if you want to see it. And then some of the stuff that I'm doing, I'm sharing, so if someone sees this, they can kind of see how to do some stuff. But anyway, okay, we were at the point where we got the front suspension on. We did the fender install. I got a chance. I got this wet sanded on this side and buffed so I could install this. I'm still waiting for a new windshield. I did get these, will have to come back off. I just kind of slid these down into place. I just remembered that I had to put this up this morning the rest of the way. So basically I got these in place because this thing's gonna be sitting outside, and I wanted to see what this stuff looks like. So it actually, this door does need some alignment yet, which is why we have this little gap. It's shut tight. So and the fenders, I'm probably going to I might try to pull these fenders back and close that gap up a little bit. But it actually, I mean, it looks, you know, everything is pretty decent. We got good hood gap, you know, for what it is. Now this here, when I had wrecked this many years ago, the hood came in and hit this. This has just popped up just a little bit. Not enough where I was going to go in here and try to body work anything. So anyway, let's just go over here on this side. We got this side over here done too. This here will need some more alignment. This fender has to go in a lot, you can tell. Either that or the top of this door's got to come out, but like I'd shown, this is really tight right here on this, and it's actually back pretty far. So it's kind of going to be, I think, what it's going to be. But we got this molding on to see what it looked like. These will have to come off. There's no popper if it's holding these in. So yeah, this side still needs wet sanded. Like I said, we're still waiting for the windshield so we can install this. I might actually grab this and put it out since this thing's going to be sitting outside. I don't have many leaves, but I want to avoid getting anything down into here. So I'll probably just install that to cover those holes. Not only that, I won't lose hardware, but I wanted to see what the front bumper cover looked like installed and the headlights that I had. So I went through the trouble of getting them out and getting them all installed and putting them in. So I'll get in here and I'll pop the hood and I'll show you what it looks like underneath. Here we go. Got the battery tray cleaned up. I just installed some of this stuff to, like I said, to try to fill some of these holes. I'm probably gonna throw some tape up in over that one or something. I found my wiper motor I couldn't find, so we're good there. But everything seemed to come out pretty good. You can look up in, I used all the new fasteners on the back of the lights that were included in the pack with the fenders. I gotta do something here with this alignment here. I don't know if it's in this aftermarket or this fender, or this just needs to be pushed in, but it's lined up with this one here pretty good. So we'll have to go back and do that. It's kind of nice, you know, it's nice to get stuff fit together and you can see what it looks like, and then you can readjust some stuff. Some things you do need to go back and you will need to redo. You can tell the springs are sitting a little bit higher, but I guess that's to be expected. I didn't really look at this thing with the engine out. I kind of just shoved it out the door. It was not sitting that high, but we have all new bushings, new struts, you know, everything is completely all new. So the suspension will need to settle, and then I'll have to get it, I'll have to do the alignment, and I'll show how to do some of that stuff too. Everything was tight in the suspension, so you know, all the tie rod ends were all good, but everything cleaned up really nice. There's a lot of parts that I want to get, but sometimes you just kind of gotta get it together with what you have and then come back later and replace certain things. So, but so far, I mean, everything is working out pretty good. Here's another side note. I installed the upper seal, and it almost looks like it needs to go in behind this rubber here for this seal, because it won't let it go back in. So just something else, you know. So I don't know if I want to loosen them, pull them out, try shoving that back in, then try realigning my hood, or if I want to come in here and notch some of this and notch some of that. just to get a better fit on that. So I'll have to look around and see what I can find. I mean, that's kind of the cool thing when you go to car shows. You can see what other people did if they actually replaced some of that stuff, and it kind of helps when you do your install. But hey, we're going into our winter season, and hopefully this thing will have an engine underneath of it real soon. And yeah, I mean, other than just going back over and trying to align panels and buffing out some certain spots in the paint, I think for the amount of time that I have in this right now, it came out really nice. We got to get these moldings on, man. That is really going to make it. Some people like it without these center moldings in. I like them, so I do. So we'll get those installed. I think I'm going to be able to live with the little short antenna. Everything is just, like I said, it's looking good. I still would like to find a replacement for around my steering column down there, just because it looks bad. I tried cleaning off some of the dirt and the paint overspray that was on there from many years before, so that's kind of how it came out. I still have a little bit of paint work that needs to be done underneath from the doors to the rear differential, which I'll take care of once I get that out. But overall, man, this thing is coming out pretty good. It does take some time. It's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be a darn nice looking Mustang again. So with that being said, it's going to be a little bit till I get some more uploads on these. Busy got some SRT4 jobs I got to take care of. We're doing some motor install, and we have another really nice big build coming, and hopefully some other different things somewhere in between there. Maybe it's tractor, or who knows. I mean, I know some people like different videos, but this is what it is. So yeah, a couple more so's, and that's it. We'll see ya.